This is Work and Learn Abroad.
Welcome to this new episode of Working and Learn Abroad. Today we have Uwe, who is going to talk about his experience related to how to what is to be working abroad, and he's originally from the engineering field, and now he's a deployment analyst, and he's going to talk about how he got to here to Ireland, and how he has been with his experience. So how are you doing, Uwe?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Fine, thank you. So maybe you can start to talk about yourself a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm 34 years old. Like you said, I'm coming from the engineering field. I studied mechanical engineering in Germany. I came to Dublin in end of 2013 the first time. I've worked here for a year, which was a bit unsatisfying professionally. So I got an offer from Germany for a better job. I moved back there for about 2 years.
And what was the first idea about coming to Ireland? And in that case, was it for just working? Did you want to be better in English, or it was just
as well? Yeah, well, no, there are different reasons. So I finished my studies in Germany. I didn't really find the work or the job I was looking for.
Okay.
Like I got a lot of rejections on my applications, and I wanted to go abroad, like since I can think of. Like I was a child, I always wanted to go to the US. I applied for different visas for the US. I tried to get a job there and didn't really work. And then I was looking in Europe, and then there was just a point where I just say, fuck it, I'm gonna take the chance now. Who knows when I would get that opportunity again.
Okay.
I didn't have a job, so
you came to Ireland?
I just came to Ireland, I tried it.
Okay. You got a job there, and then a year passed, and you started to see how things started to work in Ireland?
Yeah, exactly. So I applied to a job from Germany, so I came here for the job interview. I didn't get that job, so I was here without a job, not knowing really what to do. And then I kept applying here. I found a job in a publisher in the city center. I really liked the job, but coming from like an engineering background, it wasn't really what I wanted to do for longer. So I got that offer from Germany, and then
you went back.
Yeah.
So you went back to Germany, and you how long did you stay there?
About 2 years. Yeah.
And after 2 years, you started to get again that feeling, right?
Exactly. I think if you've lived abroad for a while, you have that bug that you just you want to see more and you want to see something else. And I really miss Dublin a lot. I had a lot of friends here that I missed, and the city where I was in Germany was small and it was boring a bit, and so I said.
So I said, besides your professional growth, were you thinking about being in a bigger market and having a job that could be more aligned with what you studied before, or how did second time feeling came into being? Okay, I'm actually going again because I do really feel this.
Yeah, so it was not a professional decision at all. I did that engineering job in Germany, and at some point I felt that it's not really what I want to do. So in the end, I forfeit that engineering future, and that I don't need to do that to be happy. I don't need to be an engineer. So I quit that job, and I went to Ireland again without having anything, without having a job. I slept at a friend's place for the first month, and then I found like a job in Arvato.
How did, for the people, there might be people listening to this and thinking, oh, I would like to go work abroad, but actually I've been in this job too long. I got some experience, and I don't really feel like doing it anymore. but that's the experience that I got. So maybe I should go and do it more, just to so the people might be feeling tight, right? So to keep following that.
Exactly.
In your case, you have switched from market from one field to another. So what advice could you provide to those people?
Yeah, know your skills, know what you're good in, and try to use the experience that you already have in another field. Like, you can always transfer knowledge and transfer skills into another field, and try to find out what you want to do, what you like to do, and then.
What did it work for you here in Ireland when you were trying to do this? Were you trying to connect with people, or what did you try? How did you approach this feeling?
Yeah, so I had a job in Arvato in the call center type of job, and I kept applying to jobs until I found that job, and in the end I was lucky to find that really good job here. That's only, I mean, that's all you can do. Just keep applying, use your connections you have. I think that's really important. If you know people, you already try to get job interviews via those people you know.
We usually, in other podcasts, we have said about the importance to connect with people, to network,
exactly.
Go to meetups and join groups and stuff like that. In your case, how did you do it? Like, you just jump into some friends, and then those friends connect you to another friends, or do you join some meetings?
So when I came to Dublin first in 2013, I went to meetups.
Okay.
I went to couch surfing meetings. That's where I basically met all my friends I have now. But there wasn't really any professional outcome from that.
And for the second time, you already knew the people? Yeah,
exactly. I already knew the people. A lot of people left already as well, but about 50% of the people I knew were still here, and I got a few job interviews from people I know here, like in their companies. In the end, I had the choice to, or I had the selection between several jobs, and then I decided for that one. Yeah, exactly. It was easier than I expected.
And thinking in how culture works, did you have any culture shock when you came the first of the second time? Do you feel some kind of difference between Germany and Ireland, how you were going to approach things?
Well, the second time not, because I knew how it works.
And the first time, well, could another German could feel here, just landed here?
Yeah, the first time a bit. I think it's important to keep in mind that Ireland is much more relaxed than Germany. Things take more time. You don't need to be like 100% on time for an appointment, for example. Just take it easy. You don't need to show up in a suit for a job interview, for example. Depends on the job. In Germany, you should, and you have to.
So it's important to do some research related to what's the right clothes to wear to an interview.
If you go to a country to work there, you need to inform yourself about the country before. What are the customs? How does the CV look like, for example? Like in Germany, for example, we use pictures on CVs. We put the birth date in there, so people know how old you are. You don't do that here, for example. I knew that before I came, but that's probably something you should inform yourself about.
And how do you feel with the language? First and the second time as well. Do you feel any kind of barrier with the language, or were you okay?
I was okay. I studied in the US a semester before I came to Ireland. So I think my English was on a good level when I came here.
Will you recommend to people? I'm not sure how the German education system works. So, would you recommend people to do some kind of English classes before coming here, or just will be fine?
It depends. I mean, how your English is. If it's enough to get to job interviews, to do job interviews, to talk to people, then I think it's enough, because you improve a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
I think you always improve in the country you're staying in. You get the language.
Yeah.
If not, then do English courses at home.
Yeah, and related to that moment before leaving the country for the first time to come to Ireland, how do you feel? Do you feel some kind of anxiety? Because maybe some people will be there thinking, oh, well, actually I'm going to Ireland. My English is good. I've seen the market. I've seen the companies. It seems nice. And then you buy the tickets that day before buying tickets is kind of crucial, right? Maybe the day before or along on the plane, or maybe just when you land. So is there any advice that you could provide to the people that are listening to the podcast?
I think it's important to be excited and stay excited in the beginning, at least. Like, you need to be persistent, and you need resilience. Just there will be rejections and there will be problems in the beginning, and just fight through that. When I came here 2013, and I really thought I would get that job, that with the interview I came for, and then I didn't. And then there was that point when I had no idea what to do now. Should I stay here? Should I take all my suitcase and fly back? And
that fight or fly feeling, right?
Exactly. And I felt so alone in my life, because I didn't know anyone in that city. I was in a hostel with all my suitcases, and then there was that decisive moment where I said I'm going to fight through that. I'm going to stay here, and I keep looking for a few more weeks, and then if it doesn't work out, I go back.
That's the thing, right? Because we sometimes feel like, oh, we are actually going to die if this doesn't work. And no, wait, it doesn't work. You just try something else, because this is maybe not for you. Maybe this is for you, but you're not ready for this yet. Or you just stick to this and say, no, actually, I believe in this. I want to stick to it.
Exactly. And it's not a failure if it doesn't work out and you have to go back. Mm-hmm. At least you had the courage to do it, and you took the risk. And then there might be people at home who look down on you, that like he's coming back now, he failed, but it's not like that. You took the risk, and you're in that term you're better than those people who stayed in their own little world at home.
If you will have to do something different now that you've been, how long have you been in Ireland now?
So the second time, it's 2 years.
2 years. Yeah. If you go back and talk to the Uwe in the past, let's say 5 years ago, what would you say to that Uwe, and then to advise him?
I would say just do it. Believe in yourself. Well, what I didn't know then is that how easy it actually is for Germans to find a job here, even if it's not the best job ever. But you can climb the ladder and you can find better jobs. But like compared to Spanish people or even to French people, it's so much easier to find a job. And I didn't know that back then. If I had known it back then, I wouldn't have so many doubts, and I would have just like embraced the opportunity. And
would you, if you are now being this long in a company that here in Ireland, and you've seen how business work for different companies, because you've been here at least 2 or 3 companies so far that you can tell me, that I can tell actually, and what could be an advice for the people who are the podcast in the way of doing business here in Ireland?
Well, that's a good question. It's not so much different to let's say Germany.
Will you feel that it's more open to the people to speak up and say things, or because I remember like in Japan you usually don't people don't go to a meeting and they expect to be something fixed in the meeting because a lot of stuff has been already been told. So usually people go and just sit at the table and everybody knows but nobody knows. It's kind of thing. And sometimes in Costa Rica we are not that direct to say things in cultures.
That's a good point.
British culture sometimes is kind of you go indirect way to say stuff.
That's a good point actually. Yeah, German culture is way more direct.
Okay.
We would say things way more clearer and way more direct. Here you try to wrap it in a nice package.
yes.
And in Germany, which I just
you just said it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you expect results, and nobody will be hard feelings. Because you just said it. So have you started to do you have to learn this way of expressing yourself?
Exactly, in both ways. So if I say something, I need to wrap it around in nicer words.
Yeah.
And as well as if someone tells me something, I need to get the message and read the message out of it. If they say here, do you want to do that? How about that? You wouldn't do that in Germany. Like if manager says,
do.
Exactly. My manager in Germany would say, do that. When you have time, do that. Here would say, how about, would you like to do that? And it's not, you don't have an option.
Yes.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
It's just it's a
nicer
way.
In the language.
Yeah.
And related to taking apart the professional way or like your profession and working here in Ireland, if you're going out to the daily life, what advice could you do for people about housing or insurance? How can they approach? I'm not sure about how the housing market in Germany, sorry. So it's better than here.
Yeah.
So what advice could you say to the people about housing, finding a place to live here?
That's difficult. Just a bit as with jobs, write a lot of applications. Try to sell yourself in those applications. Tell them what you do, how old you are, that you're quiet. Like that's what people hear in like if you're looking to move into with someone else, like as a roommate, which is probably the only way to live here with a roommate. Try to sell yourself. People don't like it if you like to party and if you're loud and all that. Say that you're quiet.
And the standards, I'm not sure about again. Do you feel here you get kind of what you could get in Germany, or would you get a more modern apartment?
The houses are shit for
your standards. So let's say
like they're not insulated. The heating doesn't work sometimes. Where there was so much mold and the heating didn't work, things like that. I lived with 5 Brazilians in a super small apartment. I was the only one that had his own room, so it was it's different. You need to
adjust your
expectations. A lot.
And related to a job offer, do you see any difference about job offers here in Ireland that you see in Germany? Because usually we also hear about stock, like shares or stock, or you sometimes that you get more days, but you could be getting back in. I'm not sure in Germany how many days you will get off. Here, by law it's 21, and some companies take it to 37, 30, whatever, and you get insurance and those kind of benefits, because sometimes when we just see an offer, we just see, this is going to be my salary, and you are there. And then they start to add stuff, and you're like, okay, well, this is too much. But maybe it's not too much because the prices are higher, housing is higher.
Exactly.
So it's important not to get just the enlightened by, oh, I see these much numbers, what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So what advice could you do there as well?
So one mistake I did when I applied for jobs the first time here in Ireland was the gross salary here is lower than for comparable jobs in Germany because the taxes here are lower. So you get more out than for the same amount as in Germany. Because the taxes here are lower than in Germany. So well, I just asked for way too much in the beginning as a salary because I thought
you were still fixed to that number in taxes. I mean
exactly, and then everyone said like we cannot pay that, like that's just too high for that kind of job, and then so it took me a while to realize that.
And another benefits, PTO or do you have that in Germany?
PTO is usually higher than here.
Okay. And shares or insurance?
You don't really get shares. I've never worked for a company in Germany where you get shares actually.
You get shares, okay.
And like insurance, you have health insurance in Germany anyway. Like state, it's mandatory basically. But you don't usually get a life insurance, for example. Okay, so
now commuting time, what would you say to people if they are it's okay, I've already got the job offer, and then I will get this apartment that it seems to be cheap, it's nice, I'm not sure how far it is, I will check on Google Maps, in an hour, Google Map, an hour, is that okay? And is there any other kind of advice that you can say there to the people about commuting here?
Like my best advice would be to get a bicycle, and just cycle.
No, nice.
That's in my opinion, my experience. That's the quickest way. It's depending where you live, of course, but if it's in the city center, it's usually much quicker than the bus or car or anything.
And for the people that are thinking about the bike, there's a bike to work scheme here.
Exactly.
So people can get some taxes on refund, or just do some kind of procedure before to get the bike and pay later.
Well, you don't pay taxes for the bike then.
Yeah, and it's taken from your gross salary.
Yeah, exactly. So if you can do that, do it. If the company is in the scheme, participates in the scheme, do it. Because you get a good bike for half price, basically.
Yes, indeed. I'm sure if you have any last advice or anything that we have left out, Uwe?
I think advice is just do it, take the risk, take the courage.
Is it worth it?
Exactly, it's usually worth it. Like people are more capable of handling difficult situations than they think they are. So don't overthink, and just do it and move to another country. I would say
it's worth it, and the experience that you get is so good, and growth as a personal growth, and,
a lot,
and the experience of working also in bigger markets, depending on the company that you choose. But
exactly, even if you want to come back to your country one day, you improve in English, you get a lot more skills than just staying there.
And the culture mix that you could get, it's not that you're learning about Ireland or learning about English culture, English speaking culture. You see people from everywhere.
Exactly.
And then you learn, and that open your mind to just do more stuff in different ways.
Yeah.
Great. Exactly. Well, thank you.
Perfect. No problem. Thank you.
If there is a way to get in contact with you?
Yeah, my email address.
Yep.
Uwe.schwarz20@freenet.de.
Okay, thank you. And in my case, is leonardo.martin @pm.me. Let us know if you had any questions. We can answer. We've seen that the people are getting into the podcast, and we're getting some questions as well. So we are trying to refer questions in the podcast about whatever you want to listen. Keep posted, and we will have more professionals into our podcast. Thank you, Uwe.
Thank you.
This is Work and Learn Abroad.